Hi, I'm Kevin McGilly. I was a parliamentary intern in 86, 87. I'm from Montreal, Quebec, and I went to the University of St. Francis Xavier. I was in the same group as Graham Clark that you've just met. And I worked for two awesome MPs during my internship. One was Herb Gray, legendary, longtime member of Parliament from Windsor, Ontario, longtime cabinet minister in the Trudeau administrations. At the time, he was the Liberal House leader in opposition during the Mulroney administration, and I had the unique and great pleasure of getting to work with him, and especially with a senior member of his staff, Jerry Yanover, on House reform rules, which were a real focus when we were there in 1986-87. There was an attempt to democratize the Parliament to some extent for the ordinary member of Parliament, and I got to be involved in negotiations with the majority, with the executive branch, especially the Deputy Prime Minister Don Mazankowski at the time. And that was an exceptional experience. I really got to see and understand how Parliament worked from the inside out. The other member of Parliament I worked for was a wonderful gentleman named Jim Edwards. He was a member of Parliament from Edmonton Southwest, later ran for the Conservative leadership. He was another man of great heft and great capability, and was a pleasure to work with, and made a real effort to involve me in his office's business. He took me out to Edmonton for a week to work in his riding office, and it was my first trip ever to Alberta, and it broadened and deepened my sense of Canadianness and my appreciation for my country. The single best experience, I would say, from the entire year was that the Meech Lake Accord was signed while I was an intern on the Liberal side, and the Liberal caucus had to decide very quickly how to respond to it. It was a deviation from the sort of traditional Liberal strong central government approach to the Canadian Federation, and we only had a couple of days as a caucus to decide, and I got to be involved in some of those discussions. I wrote a memo that at the time the leader, John Turner, actually read from on the floor of the House of Commons, so that was definitely my highlight, and it got me very excited about politics.